I am a big public transport boy now. After 5 years of Deutsche Bahn, I was like, I need to get a minivan and then like go to a mountain and then play Switch. It was fun. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fresh Step where you recover yourself for the main step. I'm your host for today, tomorrow and the foreseeable future, Theodore Lu. And I'm with Totos Battler in the UK and a Battle Spirits English Wiki admin, Ayumu Seiki. I feel like I've messed that up a little bit, but yeah, that is what it is. So yeah, Ayumu, how are you doing today? I even mess up English. How does that work?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I just got
what?
complimented for my German, by the way, earlier, and then like
Nice.
after I got complimented, everything just falls apart. I I asked them something like, do you mean this? Kind of, yes, yeah, I mean that. And here I am trying to get like a B2 course, and then like I just realized that when I wanted to take the B2 course, they do have a little note on the site that says basically if you want to take like B2 further, you have to pass the placement test or you have to have a B1 certificate that you get like in the last 6 months. Oh, I did not account for that.
Oof.
Yeah, should have gotten that much earlier, but yeah, it is what it is. My German is still garbage, but yeah, it is doable. But yeah, we're finally back in the comfort in our own homes, and yeah, I guess like now that Ayumu has left, there's no one that turns on the heater in my room anymore, so it's feeling a little bit colder now. And yeah, I mean like
Yes, it's pretty chilly around here as well. Yeah.
yeah, it's starting to be the temperature where I can feel like yep, I needed to wear like my thickest jacket. So I'm not looking forward to like actually like getting into winter because like now basically I have to wear like a really thick first layer and then my jacket. But yeah, probably after it goes to winter, I'll probably need to wear 3 layers. For real.
For real.
For real.
Yeah, I've been wearing 3 layers at work.
Mm-mm.
Actually, especially since I need to stand outside for like 6 hours. Actually, like yesterday I knocked on the door of someone's house,
Mm-mm.
and like it was like around 6 or 7 p.m. And
Mm-mm.
then like he literally peeked out and it's like, "May I help you? Are you lost?" And I was like, "No, I'm here to talk about the charity." And then he's like, "Oh my God, who are you still working at this time?" It's like, well, I have to work until 8 p.m. So
Yeah. So it all comes to full circle. It starts from like people asking you about your like that you are having like school on Sunday, and then now people are asking you like, oh my God, you're still working in this temperature outside.
this time as well.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. No, right.
Yeah, like on my work day, I always arrive home at like almost 10 p.m. So
Same. I mean, like today I was like a little bit lucky. I was able to go home at around 11. My God. The fact that I need to say that I am lucky because like not only do we close on time, basically, the train was on time, the tram was on time. Well, I guess it's my carbo from like this morning. There's like everything just fell apart. So like, I guess that's just karma like fixing itself. I guess.
yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it's just because I got sent to somewhere, literally like an hour away by car. So
Oof. Yeah.
like it spends time to get back. So I tend to only get off work at like 8 p.m. But it takes time to come back.
True.
So
Yeah. I mean, like, one of my colleagues just told me like something that how to say that kind of like expresses what I've been wanting to say, which is yeah, the German railway, the Deutsche Bahn, made me really wants to buy a car. Yeah, I was like, I gave up driving for since like a long time ago, since I live mostly in Jakarta, and after that I moved to Germany, and I felt like, yep, I don't need car. I am a big public transport boy now. I can survive without cars. And then now, after after 5 years of Deutsche Bahn, I was like, yep, nope. I need to get a better job soon. I needed to be able to pay for the tuition for the uh driving school, and then I will get myself like a minivan, and then like on the weekends I will just go to a mountain and then like play Switch, and then like yep, when I go back, I will have like 15 missed calls from my, maybe 35 missed calls from my sister asking me where I was, but like yep, I was hiking last night. It was fun. Yes. And then I think like we had this conversation when you were here, right? Like those, there were like those chill camping video where people just modified the back of their van, and then they just went to somewhere.
Oh, right, yeah.
They just went to somewhere secluded, and then they just set up their bed, and then they went to do normal things like eating cup ramen and then like playing with their Switch. I was like, oh, why? But also that kind of looks like though.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly. My goodness, that's the life. I was like today I was like, yeah, I finally found the car that I wanted, and then it's like, it's not like the car that I wanted when I was a child, because of course as a child I was really easily influenced, especially we have Speed Racer when I was growing up. I kind of wanted more like a sedan. Is it sedan or sedan? Sedan. You know,
Sedan.
yeah, the flat like Mercedes kind of car. But yeah, now
No, I don't know.
yeah. How do I describe that? Let me see if I can get that up. Ooh, share your screen. I'm sharing my screen to Ayumu. Should have done that earlier, but yeah. Sedan cars. How do you read sedan anyway? But it's it's basically the pancake cars, the flat one. It's, depending on how it is designed, it can be more exciting for some people. It looks clean, but like might be a little bit boring as well. Depends on how you see it. Kind of wanted a fan now.
Okay.
Yeah, so now, yeah, so this probably when I was like growing up, this is the car. Like I think like if you have like this kind of car, you kind of made it in life. And then like my dad bought a Suzuki sedan, and it was tight. I guess in the end it just comes down to how you maintain it. Kind of just wanted a fan, so I'll modify the back and I'll bring like my air bed that you have used like thousands of times by now, and then I'll just do that, and then like brought like a small generator, and then just play my Switch until morning, and then I'll go back to civilization.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I will do that, and then like turns out I was like, yep, I was too tired from like driving all the way here. I'll just go to sleep right away. Probably that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Alright, doesn't always go as planned.
Yeah, I actually been staying in bed for like half a day today.
Yeah.
Because like you idiot ass told me to wake up early and then I couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah. There were some complications today. So there was some complications at work. So I was like, yep. I had like a night shift earlier, and then like, well, not really a night shift, but like I started pretty late. So I was like, yep, let's record a little bit earlier. And then of course, I woke up, and then my boss was like, "Can you call me?" I was like, oh no. I was like, she didn't mean anything bad, but like still, like whenever she was like, "Please call me," it's like, oh, you're going to call me early, aren't you? And of course you did, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep.
yeah,
But I was also too tired to get up.
yeah.
And then I ended up just like watching
Mm-mm,
all the like random kind of short stories
mm-mm,
on YouTube.
mm-mm,
Quite a lot of them. And like to be fair, a lot of them are really interesting
mm-mm,
and are quite thought provoking as well. I mean,
mm-mm,
I think some of them are like haven't had a bit of plot holes, but like most of them are pretty good.
mm-mm,
Um for example, like there's actually this one
mm-mm.
called uh how would you translate in English? The
Mm.
roaming baby plan.
What?
Yeah, so basically it's like a sci-fi story
Mm-mm,
where like humanity release um 100 babies into space,
mm-mm,
expecting them to land on like different planets.
mm-mm,
Obviously, these babies are like genetically modified, so they're more adaptable than like normal humans.
mm-mm,
And then so our protagonist and his friends
mm-mm,
and his friend were two people, yeah. So
mm-mm,
like the two of them are sent on a mission to like check out these babies later on.
mm-mm,
So the rockets themselves can be flown at the speed of light,
mm-mm,
but because since like for the protagonist, the spaceship is carrying them,
mm-mm,
so they cannot fly in the speed of light.
mm-mm,
But still, they have to stay dormant until they reach like each of the planet.
mm-mm,
So they estimate, by the time they arrive at each planet, well, at least by the time they arrive at like the first one, 10 years should have been passed
mm-mm,
since the baby has landed.
mm-mm,
So like, they and then like they already like when they began, like his friend already questioned like kinda like I suppose you can say like kinda like the identity of human.
mm-mm,
Because like he was like, well, these babies are gonna adapt in all these different planets which are like completely different environments to the Earth.
mm-mm,
So like is it are they would they even be counted as humans by then? And then and protagonists are like, well, we'll see.
mm-mm,
And then like obviously not. Because like for example, like oh I can't remember exactly, but like there's one like they land oh yeah, so like the first one they landed the planet is like basically a completely desert area,
mm-mm,
but there are really tall trees, really big trees, big enough that you
mm-mm.
can actually see it from space. Um
Damn.
yeah, and then like they realize there's nobody around.
Mm-mm,
And they realize the trees have been modified. So
mm-mm,
they know like these new humans have been living inside the trees. And
mm,
when the door opened up, they realize these humans they're very pale.
mm-mm,
Their fingers are like claws
mm-mm,
and like kind of like their rib bones are almost like apparent,
mm-mm,
like under the skin.
mm-mm,
And like, their eyes are kind of hollow as well. And
mm-mm,
then and of course, they didn't even greet them as like kind of a civilized person. They
mm-mm,
tried to attack them,
mm-mm,
and then so like, and then yeah, and then so they quickly went back to the spaceship and went to the next planet.
mm-mm,
And his friend said, like the protagonist's friend said, yeah, I mean, of course it comes to be like that. It's like right now the differences are like humans and monkeys.
mm-mm,
It's like like you kind of came from like the same origin, but then like you're just like completely different species by now.
mm-mm,
And then like they went to the next one. It was complete darkness.
mm-mm,
And then they literally couldn't see anything.
mm-mm,
And by the time and then they were discussing if they should walk out at all. And then they noticed some movements on the window and realized like there were like these new humans sticking on the window. They're literally missing their eyes, and their ears are extremely large. Yeah, you can guess why they evolved it this way. And the reason they were there was because the spaceship was making sounds, so they were attracted by the sound of the spaceship. Well, that's some other people that cannot communicate, and then so they went off to the next planet. Um, this one might be a little bit disgusting, but be prepared. So they went to the next planet, which is half green, half white. They landed on the green side, and then they saw there were like no evidence of like humans going around. But there were extremely big animals, just like constantly walking. And then like finally um they found like some evidence of humans, and it was from a dung of those really big animals. And then like they have like they carve like pictures on these dungs. And then so okay, so we know that the new humans have landed, but where are they? And then so they realize so they first realize one thing. The planet is in a very special position where like the side that's facing the star of its own solar system is like kind of like the perfect temperature for living things to survive. But when it turns to the other side, then it's become so cold that nothing will survive. Like it's that extremity. So that is why they saw like the animals are like constantly walking because they have to be chasing after the sun. Which by itself is pretty interesting, to be fair, the concept.
Yeah.
And then so like the two question, then I'm so they're pretty sure that the new humans wouldn't be quick enough to catch up with the sun. How do they survive then? And they had a very wild theory, and it was actually true. So they used the X-ray function of the spaceship and scanned the bodies of those really huge animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, on this planet, the new humans have become parasites of like the other animals. Yeah. Yeah, like that. I like honestly like yeah. This one's pretty disgusting, but like I also think it's like probably one of like the most interesting concepts in terms of like how humans live, like in like a kind of sci-fi fantasy setting. Because like I mean, probably it's because it's that disgusting that probably no one had ever really wanted to write it that way. But like it works perfectly in this scenario because like I think it's like supposed to like flesh out like the bizarreness of like what would happen if like humans try to live outer space. And then so like these two partners, they like went to visit various planets, and like literally every time the new humans would just evolve into some form that they cannot recognize. And obviously these new humans also cannot recognize them, and like treat them like as a completely different species. And then finally they reached the last one, the 15th planet. And then they landed, they walked out, and they saw like humans literally looking like the same as them. Just like greeting them, speaking their own language. Like they pull out their hand, for like a handshake. And then, those two were really touched. Finally, they found someone. They found like a new human species that's normal or like the same as them. Maybe because like they developed the same way as all the other planets. Well, I mean, as the Earth. That's what I meant. And then so like wow, and then so like they followed the new humans to like their their inhabitation, and then like they were like chatting, and then like the protagonist asked one of those new humans, so like, so we went to all these other planets, and like they all developed in like completely different ways, like do you know why you guys like that? And then like the new human said, oh, we just like kind of polish like our skills of imitation. And then and then the new human directed the protagonist's attention to like to far beyond the side, like the horizon,
Mm-mm.
and then they just saw like crumbling buildings
Mm-mm.
like in the area, and then
Mm-mm.
they realized this was their own Earth.
Mm.
And like it was an open ending, and I probably didn't explain good enough, because like I also like forgot some parts about it, and like it's supposed to be like like a really simple animation as well, so like
Mm-mm.
you understand more if you actually watch it yourself. But basically, someone theorized that like it was hinted that, so basically the whole theme of this short story is about evolution,
Mm-mm.
and like we could see that like like these new humans evolve in different ways.
Mm-mm.
And so like you got one that evolved to become parasite, you got
Mm-mm.
one that evolved by losing eyesight but like having really big ears to adapt to really dark environment.
Mm-mm.
You got ones that's like living in trees because there's literally nothing else outside.
Mm-mm.
um and then so like then that's the question, is like, what is there anything changed for the last human race that they saw?
Mm-mm.
and and the answer is they evolved mentally.
Mm-mm.
So basically these new humans became the superior species of
Mm-mm.
the earth,
Mm-mm.
and and then they took over all the old humans.
Mm.
Oh yeah, there's one part I was missing, was that like, so like this, so I said like how they send out like capsules, rockets of like babies into the outer space. So
Mm-mm.
basically for the last one, um the spaceship malfunctioned, and
Mm-mm.
so it returned and landed back onto the earth.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like, yeah, so like that was a really interesting one.
Mm-mm.
And then like I will just watch a lot more. Um, I'm just like, it's from the same channel as well, so I was just like scrolling through.
Mm-mm.
Um, but yeah, like there was another interesting one that I remember I watched today, but what was it? But like basically like, cause I was too tired to get up, and then
Mm-mm.
I just like lie in bed and just like start
Mm-mm.
watching all these random
Mm-mm.
um kind of like animation. Oh, like this one's really interesting. It's about like kind of like cosmos, a
Okay.
sci-fi kind of thing again.
Mm-mm.
And then like it has an English title as well. It's called Death of the Postman.
Mm-mm. Okay.
Which is an interesting title, but basically the world setting is like after World War III, in
Mm-mm.
like in in a world where human race have advanced so much that they started to colonize other planets.
Okay.
But maybe not, but like not too far. Maybe just within the solar system at least. Like because it's a short story, it didn't give exactly too much context, but like enough for you to understand. Okay, so humans have become like galactical race, and they just had a war, um, between themselves, not with
Mm-mm.
aliens.
Yep.
Um, so for the protagonist, he was focusing on his crush,
Mm-mm.
who he was about to propose,
Okay.
but she got sent off to war. And
Oh.
even after war, there was no news of her
Okay.
until one of their mutual friends came to him
Mm-mm.
and told him in some very specific words, telling him, "You're better off thinking her as death, like
Mm-mm.
dead."
Mm-mm.
And so, like, the protagonist got curious because he was saying it in a very peculiar way. So that means his crush wasn't actually dead.
Mm-mm.
Something else happened to her,
Mm-mm.
which their mutual friend considered to be worse than death.
Mm-mm.
And so, what would it be? And so, like so like he said, please tell me. So the mutual friend said, "Do you know the concept of postman?"
Mm-mm.
And so basically, what happened was that during the war, or like even like kind of, well, mainly during the war, like one of the things that like kind of like countries or like colonies are trying to raise is like obviously trying to colonize other planets.
Mm-mm.
And so to do that, what they do is they set up a post office, literally a single post office on
Mm-mm.
every planet.
Mm-mm.
And each of these post office would like there will be one single postman
Mm-mm.
like in position.
Mm-mm.
But like sending them off to the planets are really like, you know, very spendy, you spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of resources.
Mm-mm.
So of course after the war, well, they're just gonna leave them there forever, basically. So
No.
yeah, and then so for the protagonist crush, it's even worse. So each postman is given a number, as like an identification, and for his crush is 3,000, which means she was 3,000 planets away from Earth.
No.
Yeah. So this protagonist, but like he was determined. Then like he set off on a spaceship, and like start trying to find her one by one, going through each of the planet. Um, Going through by number, because obviously like that's the number going on. Actually, I can't remember. I can't remember they exaggerate to be 3,000 or was it 300? Might be 300 actually. Yeah. Um. But before that, he like kind of settled down on another planet where like humans have was already thriving there, and then he caught a child thief, and the child thief like back him to keep him on the spaceship, and like he can like kind of stay with the protagonist, and so like the two went on together. Um, and like so like what I like about these kind of short stories is that like they kind of just give you a lot of like very minor elements, but um it's like they don't really tell you all in the face like why these are important, but like it's something that you will kind of realize later on, um like why like maybe these characters or maybe like this setting is very important. This child is one of those things. But like I can't realize what they're trying to do. Like after they visit the first planet, the first planet with just the postman, because like this postman was like they saw the two people, and then like he was really glad, and he asked, "Oh, is this time to exchange posts?" And then like the protagonist said, "Nah, sorry, we're just here like to stop by for a while." And obviously the postman looked very disappointed. He served them tea, and then the child said like, "Oh, can I drink it?" And I said, "Yeah, go ahead." He drank it and he fell asleep. And then so like basically the protagonist tried to beat the postman to death. and,
No.
and then so the postman confessed he was trying to drug them so he could just steal their spaceship and leave, because like it's too lonely to be by himself,
Yeah.
on this planet, when like he knows that no one's ever gonna come back to find him.
Yeah.
So like you can see where this is going. And like also like at this point I can see why the story included the child to stay with the protagonist. It's kind of to point out the difference that like even if the protagonist is going to be spending tens of years, because like literally this as the story goes on, it says that like obviously they don't say like visiting all 300 planets, each one of them. But like it kind of there's a time skip, 10 to 20 years, like they've been through things like that. And so like there's kind of like the difference where like you got the postman who's like always lonely, but then like you got the protagonist who, even though like he's gonna be spending so much time finding his crush, he got someone beside him, so he doesn't become the same as all of these postmen. And like it's a really simple like comparison, but like this is the kind of things that I like. And especially since like it's also something that like a lot of times like when you're trying to analyze literature, this is the one thing they're trying to point out is like, for example, like what are the contrasts between like the protagonist and the villain, like stuff like that. And then and so like the two continue on their journey, and then like again it's just kind of like with every planet they visit, the further they go, literally everything become more and more bizarre. Basically, these postmen, they have gone insane because like they were just too lonely. Some just like scribble on the walls, some like would pray to Earth, seeing the Earth as like a god, a religion, and then like and so like and they reached to some of them like there was one where he literally built a whole mini city for himself, and he just died in the middle. So,
Damn.
a lot of suicide going on, a lot of insanity. And then like they reach, and then here's one that is very, um, I think it's very like kind of like memorable, I guess that's the word, which is like they reach the 299th planet, the one before his crush. It was an old man who was actually blind, and he looks very normal.
Mm-mm.
And he says, "Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm blind already, so it's
Mm-mm.
like it's like easier to adapt, like in these environments because
Mm-mm.
there's like less sensation to like to care about,
Mm-mm.
and but like because it was like kind of one of the planets furthest away,
Mm-mm.
so like his news are also receiving very slowly because
Mm-mm.
the speed of sound and
Yeah.
everything like that. He got a radio which was literally just talking about the war just beginning,
Mm-mm.
and then but like they had a really chill conversation, but there's what the video's telling you,
Mm-mm.
because like the truth is, as like the protagonist later pointed out, the old man baked a cake out of sand, and like while they were chatting, he was literally chewing on those sand. And
Oh.
so like even the old man has become insane. And like
Uh-uh.
but like there's one thing the old man warned him, was like, you still want to continue because there will
Mm-mm.
literally nothing else beyond here. Like
Mm-mm.
you will be out of contact with the earth because it will be too far away.
Mm-mm.
But still the protagonist persisted, and
Mm-mm.
they finally reached the 300 planet where his quest was supposed to be,
Mm-mm.
but was all just ruins. Like literally no sign of
Oh.
life. And but the child, which
Mm-mm.
by this time has already become, a working adult, even taller than the protagonist himself.
Mm-mm.
He found some drawings, some plans
Mm-mm.
in like a crumble room,
Mm-mm.
and it was a drawing of like the building itself,
Mm-mm.
and then a spaceship. And they
Mm.
figured out actually his crush used the materials from the building to make a spaceship and went away. The problem is,
Mm-mm.
where did she go then?
Mm-mm.
And then there was a map, starting from where they were
Mm-mm.
right then, on the 300th planet.
Mm-mm.
And then there's a red line, which actually didn't lead back to Earth,
Mm-mm.
but rather extended beyond the map onto the wall,
Mm-mm.
and like even further beyond.
Mm-mm.
And like kind of the story just ended there. But like basically the hint was that his crush because his crush was one of those people with like very strong curiosity.
Mm-mm.
And so like what she decided was she and so like and then he realized that like she was the one who chose to be positioned
Mm-mm.
in the furthest planet, and then also sell off even further.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
damn.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, damn. I mean, obviously, there's some flaws in it. Some people say, how can you just build a spaceship by yourself? That kind of
Mm-mm.
thing. But like,
Mm-mm.
oh well. I mean, it's the time when humans are a galactical race. So let's not question it too much.
Indeed. Like when the Martian was out, like people was asking like lots of questions, like he's just a biologist, like how he is able to build like a whole farm on his own and blah blah, and it's like, well, anyway, I just enjoyed the movie. It's a really enjoyable movie anyway. Oh my god, it still breaks my heart when he ate the potato with the paracetamol. What the fuck, man?
Well, what story is that?
The Martian.
The Martian.
Yeah, it's a movie.
I think I heard of it before. I never
Yeah,
watched it.
yeah, it's a well. It is certainly a fun movie, but like the space, like this, it is kind of in the same vein. Although like Interstellar is probably still better, but I think it's in the
I,
same
I
vein.
actually haven't watched Interstellar yet. You just reminded me. I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's an
I
even
think
slower
yeah.
burn though.
I
It's
mean,
a
I'm fine. Like, I'm
uh,
interested in like kind of cosmos and like, astrology and like all those kind of stuff. Anyway,
mm-mm,
like personally, I'm not a fan. Like, I'm normally not a fan of sci-fi.
mm-mm,
But if it's something like involving uh outer space,
mm-mm,
then it's something that I'm interested in. Um, and like talking about outer space, like I've been like recently, like how like like all the time we just like kind of shift our focus from life to like
mm-mm,
something else. And recently, I'm very into stars and everything like that.
mm,
I mean, I've always been interested in it anyway. Like ever since I was small, like literally one of my dreams was to be an uh, astrologist.
mm-mm,
I mean, okay, I'll be honest. Just as like every other child, I thought I wanted to be an astronaut, but
Mm-mm.
I was one of those who quickly decided that that wasn't possible. So I would just want to be an
Mm-mm.
astrologist. No, astrologist is something else.
Yeah,
What do you call that?
astronomist.
Astronomer. They
Yeah, astronomer. Yeah.
yeah. Astrologist is something
Mm-mm.
onto the
Yeah,
spiritual side of things. So
yeah. That's the zodiac sign kind of thing.
yeah. So that and astronomer, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I decided I want to be like that until I start studying maths and physics, and I decided I don't like them. Um, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Like I think at the end, what I'm interested is like more of um, I guess you can say like the evolution of human understanding on
Mm-mm.
space. So basically, that goes into the category of anthropology,
Mm-mm.
basically the study of human culture.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I realize I'm more because like okay, I still like to pretend to be a bit smart, realize a few constellations in the sky, kind of
Mm-mm.
know how the Mars orbits around the sun, all those things.
Mm-mm.
Um, oh, actually, yeah, like talking about Mars, there's also some really fun fact later on.
Mm-mm.
Um, but like, generally, what I realized that what I could see
Mm-mm.
as like, interpretation is throughout,
Mm-mm.
humanity.
Yep.
When the Greek those were the stars,
Mm-mm.
like kind of the Christian interpretation of the world, geocentrism, and then obviously opposite heliocentrism, like that. And so and recently, actually, this anime season,
Mm-mm.
there's an anime exactly about this,
Mm-mm.
which is literally called Out Movement of the Earth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I'm only like 4 episodes in,
Mm-mm.
and like there's like 7 episodes right now, but I've already got absorbed into it
Mm-mm.
because like it's kind of like a semi-historical series,
Mm-mm.
but like it's like it's supposedly kind of reference like the real history and everything like that.
Mm-mm.
And like I just mentioned like heliocentrism because like that's
Mm-mm.
literally the theme
Mm-mm.
of this anime.
Yeah.
So basically, like the background setting is that like, these characters
Mm-mm.
are still in the 15th century, where like Christianity has dominated
Mm-mm.
Europe.
Mm-mm.
So like they believe in geocentrism. And for those who don't understand what it means, it basically means they believe the earth is the center of the universe
Mm-mm.
and everything revolves around it.
Mm-mm.
But obviously right now, we're in the modern age, we know that's not true.
Mm-mm.
But but like, everything needs a beginning. And like so like this anime is about the time period where like bold, scientists, those who dare to defy
Mm-mm.
what they call the holy scripture,
Mm-mm.
um, comes out and I try to like, what's the word? Spread the word of their own theory, which is heliocentrism,
Mm-mm.
which basically means the idea is the sun is the center of the universe and the earth is the one revolving around it. But
Mm-mm.
obviously, it's religion and all those things. So like, um, the church sees this theory as like blasphemy,
Mm-mm.
because it contradicts with like teachings from God.
Well, duh.
Um,
Yeah, continue,
yeah,
continue. Go on, go on.
yeah. Yeah. So like this anime is basically about how like this theory kind of struggles through um kind of like the binding of religion and
Mm-mm.
like become like like the new fact
Mm-mm.
like for astronomy for like the human understandings of the
Mm-mm.
world. um what I actually realized later on, because like obviously got curious and went on to read
Mm-mm.
on Wikipedia later on. um you would think that heliocentrism is still like a modern idea,
Mm-mm.
because like it supports the modern idea. We the earth is surrounding the sun.
Mm-mm.
We know that.
Mm-mm.
So like heliocentrism must still be like a recent idea, right?
Mm-mm.
No, it's actually a superset. I think that's how you pronounce it. Superseded
Superseded.
astronomical model. Superseded. There you
Yeah.
go. Superseded astronomical model, which means like this theory has been abandoned,
Mm-mm.
and like the reason is, and it's a very interesting reason because like I actually never thought of this, and I
Mm-mm.
always thought like heliocentrism is what we call solar system now.
Mm-mm.
But no, because heliocentrism also includes the idea
Mm-mm.
that the sun is the center of the universe.
Mm-mm.
But obviously, right now we know that it's not.
Mm-mm.
Like the sun is part of the solar system, which is just like one of the many solar system
Mm-mm.
in the Milky Way, which in turns is just one of the many galaxies in this universe.
Mm-mm.
So it's definitely not the center of the universe.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so like I'm reading the Wikipedia page. So like heliocentrism is
Mm-mm.
like this is regarded as a discarded idea
Mm-mm.
because the sun, while near the very center of the solar
Mm-mm.
system, some technical terms right there, was not the central in the center of the universe.
Mm-mm.
Modern astronomy does not distinguish any center,
Mm-mm.
and so is considered a discarded idea. So yeah, you learn the word heliocentrism, but
Mm-mm.
make sure to remember that it's not a term that we use nowadays,
Mm-mm.
which I actually thought it was, but wow,
Well,
the more you know.
the more you know. And then I was checking now. I'm just kidding. It was like, well, anyway. Where were we? But yeah, we
Yeah,
were
like
we were
I
burning
was
witches and
about to
stuff.
say
Uh-uh.
languages and stuff. Yeah,
Uh-uh.
like another thing that like the anime taught me is like it's something
Mm-mm.
that I've learned before, but like, I forgot for like you know for a while.
Mm-mm.
But like which is like so the thing is like when people observe how the Mars
Mm-mm.
move around the Earth, the very interesting thing is that like um it would just move normally. So like if you draw it like on like a paper, you'll realize like the Mars just kind of goes in a circle
Mm-mm.
uh in like the night sky, like throughout the days, like throughout like a year or something
Mm-mm.
like that. But before it completes into the circle,
Mm-mm.
it actually stagnates in the sky
Mm-mm.
and then suddenly goes back in reverse order,
Mm-mm.
making a small loop before it goes back to the original direction, trying to form like, a circular shape kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
Uh, and then like so it was mentioned in the anime, and like someone asked in the comment section, so what's the actual reason for that?
Mm-mm.
And then someone answered him, and that's because the orbit of Mars
Mm-mm.
is bigger than the Earth.
Mm-mm.
So Earth is gonna spin faster than Mars.
Mm-mm.
So basically, when Earth is spinning and then like, kind of um with like Mars also like kind of moving beside
Mm-mm.
together, then and the way we see is that, the Mars is trying to form almost like a circle,
Mm-mm.
which makes sense.
Mm-mm.
But at one point, Earth is gonna take over Mars
Mm-mm.
in this kind of orbital race.
Mm-mm.
And that would be the point when Mars would stay still in the night sky.
Mm-mm.
And when Earth finally overtakes Mars,
Mm-mm.
then in the sky, it looks like Mars just goes backwards,
Mm-mm.
but that's because the Earth has gone forward.
Mm-mm.
So to us, it looks like Mars has gone backwards.
Mm-mm.
It's like mind blowing.
In the very deep. And like I was like looking for something unimportant, which is like I just found out that the Catholic Church, as I know it, is actually more recent than I thought. It's like
Catholic Church.
yeah, the Catholic Church as like Catholic Church as we know has been responsible for a lot of not fun stuff in the past, and they have been through certain reforms. Well, several reforms, not certain, several reforms, and then like one of the most major reforms that shaped like the Catholic Church of today actually happened since 1960. Well, I mean like literally like Pope that was responsible for that basically lived in the same time as the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, I also just found like a chart.
Mm. Yeah, there was
Is it though? Because like I suppose it depends on like how do you determine Catholic?
exactly.
Because like obviously you do have like the Roman Catholic,
Mm-mm.
which literally goes back to like 11th century.
Yes.
Yeah, but like I see that like on the chart there,
Mm-mm.
there's something this span of during the 16th century, which
Mm-mm.
that might be the Eastern Catholic, I believe. I
Mm.
don't know.
Yeah, I also
Yeah,
don't know.
so like so it depends on like when do you consider Catholicity
Catholicism.
Catholicism?
A religion.
I
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, so wait. So what's Catholicity then? It's a concept pertaining to beliefs and practices that are widely accepted
Mm-mm.
by numerous Christian denominations.
Mm-mm.
Wait, what's the difference then? What?
Yeah, it's probably just some kind of language evolutionary quirks.
Time to look up. I'm
Yeah.
curious now. Difference between Catholicity
And Catholicism.
and Cath Catholic.
Catholicism.
Why? Why did Google give me difference between Catholicism and Catholicism? Wow, thanks for that.
Wow, thanks for that. That's really helpful. But I still remember that I was like in my high school like religion lesson, and I was like, yeah, so there's another day, another religion lesson. It's fine. I mean, like, especially I think, like, have I told you before that I used to go to like a Protestant middle school, and I went to high school, and it's like, oh yeah, this is different, but like it's fair enough. I mean, like, they talk a lot about like more into like the cultures of the Catholic Church, like how, like, why certain rituals are done like that, and then like some administrational stuff, even like how do you marry, for example, because of course, like, there are rules in the church, like if you wanted to marry people from another religion, for example, and how do you handle that? Of course, like, for example, like, of course you can't marry in the Catholic Church unless your partner converts, for example. But I guess, like, in the end, it's just a matter of you go to the civic office, then you register your marriage, and then yep, that's done. But yeah, that's the kind of things. And then, like, I think, like, one time, like, my teacher just offhandedly just talk about like the crusade, and it's like, oh yeah, finally. Because like comparing that to our history lesson, right? Like, our history lesson is just, yep, uh we start from the prehistoric Indonesia, and then we go to like the Hindu Buddhist kingdom, and then yep, more wars, more killing, and then like the European came, and then yep, more wars, more killing, and then like we got independent. And of course, what do we learn from there? Of course, more wars and more killing, because why not?
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah, I mean, like, we were literally at war with Malaysia at one point. We are buddy now, but my God, I am,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I just used ChatGPT for the third time in my
Mm-mm.
life. And
Nice.
so it says Catholicism
Mm-mm.
is the specific religion and practices of the Catholic Church.
Mm-mm.
Catholicity refers to universality or inclusiveness, often within a broader Christian or secular context.
Mm-mm.
I
Ah.
honestly, I still don't know what Catholicity means. I know Catholic, like now I know Catholicism
Mm-mm.
means the religion itself,
Yep.
but Catholicity seems to mean something bigger, and I don't know what it's trying to say.
Oh.
Like I just try to Google up other answers as well, and it's like
Mm.
to guess, really confused.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess I can
yeah.
try to somewhat explain. Yeah. Now that you read that definition, I think I kind of get what it means, because like what I mean, like, the word Catholic itself, it means that inclusivity aspect, because like now the Catholic Church was supposed to be open for everyone who wants to be part of the Christian community, right? Like
Yeah.
you should not be rejected by the Catholic Church. That is the idea. So the Catholicity is not about the religion, the Catholic Christians, but it is kind of like the adjective that made the Catholic Church accept everyone. So it's the adjective that basically like Catholic something means that that particular noun that is followed by the adjective Catholic is supposed to be open to anyone basically. I guess
I feel like I'm missing something just because I'm not religious.
no. It's more into like it don't think I mean like how to say. Yeah, I mean like when my I think like my priest used to say that it's basically just a matter of openness. It's just basically like having an open door. So basically, if I just open my door, then my house is like a Catholic house. It's more into like, yep, you can just enter and leave like whenever you want. Like anyone without limit. Like, because if I close my doors, then if I know you, then I will let you in, right? But like if I open my doors, then anyone can get in, kind of thing.
I suppose that's like the general definition
Yeah.
of Catholicity according to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But then like scope in Christianity means something else, and like I mean, still means similar stuff, but like,
yeah. Well, yeah, I know. Because like what I understood from the definition that you read is basically it can be used to kind of describe this particular brand of Christianity, but it can also use for something else. It just means that the thing is open. I don't know.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess my brain is already dead. It's already 1 p.m.
English is so weird.
Exactly.
I'm also pretty dead as well.
Exactly. I was like
literally today I didn't bother to sing at all.
Exactly. I mean like I was like giving changes to some people earlier, and I was like, oh, how did number works again? I have a master's in informatics, by the way. I have a master's in computer science, and then it's like, how does numbers works again? I've been relying to computer a little bit too much, admittedly. My God, that was not good. Yeah.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
Talking about maths. Actually talking about maths, I learned like one interesting thing today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys, if you guys think you can explain more in details about Catholicism and Catholicity, please comment down below.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to comment that myself.
I'm genuinely curious now.
Yeah.
Especially as an English student.
Yeah, I think it's
yeah.
I feel like I've tried to but I guess that's also like a quirk of being I don't want to sound like I am know-all, but like I feel like sometimes I think like way faster than me talk.
I mean,
oh my God, English is hard.
you are Christian, if I'm using the right term, right?
I am, yes.
Yeah, so like I think it's fine that you try to explain. It's supposedly something that you understand. So
no. I mean like I feel like I know the definition, but that my brain cannot catch up on which word to use. It's like I have the thought, but I
like to be fair, at this point I still don't know if it's fair to use the word Christian on like everyone who believes in how do I even describe this?
In Christ.
The God that's related to Jesus. Let's say it this way.
Yeah. Kind of. It's more into Jesus. because once Jesus is out of the equation, then it's something else. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I heard it before because like actually no wait.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
if we wanted to get into the definitions. the major religions that is currently in the world, but yeah, that's
No, because in Hong Kong there are like two major branch of like Christianity. I
Christianity.
cannot say I cannot say words today. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But like I cannot translate them into English because I don't know the English equivalent. I mean, obviously there has to be an English equivalent,
Yep.
but I cannot match them. But I know that like one of them is supposed to focus on God itself more, or maybe rather the Trinity. I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, because like the confusing part is that like for my whole life I've been studying, well, except until university, obviously, but like I've been studying in Christian schools. But I believe they might have been different branches. So so my knowledge on Christianity just like are all really mixed up. Yeah, so I cannot differentiate between them. And then like the other branch basically focuses more on Jesus being the truth,
Yes.
I think.
Yes. I think
And
yeah,
like
that's accurate
I don't
enough.
know what they I don't know what they call it in English.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So the one that focuses on the Trinity is the Catholic Church, so the Roman Catholic Church, and then the one that is so especially in Asia, I think like the Protestants and the Catholics are like the most major. There are going to be like some part of, well, I mean like, and by Asia I mean like East Asia and Southeast Asia, because of course I'm not sure how it is in other parts of Asia. Sometimes you forget how big Asia is. But yeah, in Southeast in Indonesia, like Singapore, Malaysia, and then like East Asia, I guess like Protestant and Catholics are going to be more major. I mean, like it's more visible. Like other denominations will probably fall into like Protestants, kind of. Well, statistically speaking.
Yeah. I think I am thinking about Protestantism and Catholic.
Catholicism.
Yeah,
Yes.
Catholicism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's these English words.
Lots of words.
Like literally, the more you study English, the more you just hate the language. I swear to God.
Exactly.
But yeah, and also just a disclaimer, guys. I am not trying to make fun of the religion. I
Nope.
just generally want to understand what's going on. That's why I'm asking questions. That's why I'll probably be making mistakes as well. Yes.
Yep, it's okay. It's fine. It's all part of the learning process.
When I was younger, when I think about like a religious person, like whatever religion you're in, you know, my concept is that like this person would be like, well, let's use Christianity as an example again. Oh my God, like God is the one and only true. Like Jesus was a true person. Like I believe the heaven exists, and like I will go to heaven when I die. The kind of thing. But like, and then I met a friend who basically just go to church and sermons like it's his uh life activity. And then I ask him, but like he looked very indifferent. Like the thing is like, um, you speak to him, you be friends with him, you would never realize he's religious. But like apparently he is, and he kind of is. But like I think he's like kind of like you, he kind of what's the word, follows some of like the I cannot speak today. Some of the like not culture. Culture is not the right word. Like traditions,
Tradition, I guess. Yeah.
practices.
Yeah,
There we go. Yeah,
practice. Okay.
he follows some of the practices. That's from. I believe I believe his religion was Protestantism,
Okay.
and yeah. Because actually no. What was my secondary school on? For God's sake, I cannot remember.
Does it have a
What.
saint in his name?
This and well, no, the school follows the city name. So
Okay, then it's probably Protestant.
Sounds fair enough.
Yeah, because like
Then I think he was Protestant as well. Then yeah. Well, to be fair, I think like by today's standard, like people don't really differentiate too much. As long as you just kind of try not to what's the word? Just like make too much of a fuss about it. Um, but yeah, and then like I like when I first knew him, like I didn't know you're religious, and then he was like, yeah, I kind of am, but like at the same time, it was just because I was born under a Christian family. I kind of follow what they do, but like if you ask me, I'm not exactly like I don't exactly have like the strongest faith in it. And like so like and then I realized that in this day and age, we actually have like I think like this kind of person is like the majority of like how religions are right now. They're just like, yeah, I kind of believe in it for like in a little bit, but like not exactly too much too attached to it, that kind of thing. Which like I found it really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like in the end, it's kind of like how our ancestors, well, not really ancestors, but like people before us, like perceive the world, right? So it kind of sometimes you just feel the connection there, and I think that's a
Yeah,
beautiful thing.
yeah, I mean, it is very interesting, like how kind of we see the world today, and like how people in the past see the world. Like especially again now that I'm watching the anime, which is partly about religion, and then just like yeah, just like looking at it, oh damn, people must people must been depressed at that time. Like, because I literally the whole anime, because like the interesting part is like the anime on the surface is obviously about proving heliocentrism, but the underlying theme is like about faith. It's like because like at the end, a lot of people who try to prove heliocentrism because they don't have enough faith in the religion. And so like we got characters which like literally like just like become very depressed. They don't know what life like what life is about when at the end they just go to heaven anyway. That kind of thing. We got characters which are literally worry up every day about whether he can go to heaven because like that is the only thing he cares about. And then you got like a supposed quote unquote heretic something, and literally just like bend down in front of him and then just speak to him in his ear. What if heaven doesn't exist? And then it's crumble down.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like that kind of thing. I mean, now that I describe it, I think it's really hilarious. But trust me, it's supposed to be a serious scene, okay? Like,
No, right.
yeah.
Well, like it is kind of like interesting sometimes how like comedy like conveys serious topics better. I mean, like also that's also how like Gintama kind of works, right? I mean, like the humor is there to kind of like accentuate when they are like actually serious. Because there are
Yeah.
scenes where like there are characters that you already know that they are really playful. They are really like, well, in a simple term, we can just say they are stupid. But like then they were like suddenly, yeah, I'm going to go. I might not come back, and it's like you kind of feels like, oh my god, the gravity of the situation just hits you more because you know that this is the guy that usually will just do like the most stupid thing, and then like suddenly they just like, yep, I might not come back tomorrow. Like, oh, yeah. But yeah, that's
Yeah. Go on, go on.
but that's also the fun part because like secret, but yeah, that's kind of like the bamboozle that kind of like gets out of the window because like, yep, nearing like the final episode, like secretly all his neighbors are just like secretly some kind of intergalactic like soldiers that are really like the elite intergalactic soldiers or something. It's like, oh yeah, okay, so which neighbors are you going to bring out next? Is the forest secretly like have like a flower machine gun? Is she part of Plant vs Zombie? My goodness. But yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no, that reminds me of like So we got this really famous Chinese author.
Mm-mm.
I don't know his English name,
Mm-mm.
but for those who understand Cantonese, he's called Wai Sile.
Mm-mm.
And uh, he wrote a lot of like really interesting
Mm-mm.
fictions. But like when I was trying to read them, I was pretty young, like
Mm-mm.
10 or 11 years old. So
Yeah.
like I couldn't understand everything.
Mm-mm.
But like there was this one story that I particularly remember because I found like the concept really interesting.
Mm-mm.
Is that, he kind of, I mean, obviously he didn't clearly state the religions because, it's gonna be considered blasphemy. But
Mm-mm.
um, like, even by today's standard,
Mm-mm.
you just don't want to offend anyone
Mm-mm.
with in terms of religion.
Mm-mm.
But like basically his story is about this guy who like kind of went into dormant.
Mm-mm.
And while he was in dormant,
Mm-mm.
no, actually no, he entered the machine, and on the surface he went into dormant,
Mm-mm.
but in reality, his consciousness
Mm-mm.
goes into like kind of like a higher dimension,
Mm-mm.
and then there he met like kind of like deities of like
Mm-mm.
different religions,
Okay.
and then like basically these deities explain to him that like um they're basically like a race of like a higher dimension,
Mm-mm.
and then they tried to guide the humans.
Mm-mm.
And so like there were a lot of times when they came down to earth and like attempt to guide humans
Mm-mm.
in like in different identities,
Mm-mm.
forming different religions.
Mm-mm.
And this is why religions became a thing.
Mm-mm.
I just found that idea really really interesting to
Mm-mm.
kind of explore around as well.
Yeah.
It ended with like the protagonist just like woken up back in Earth again,
Mm-mm.
but like as like the deities has explained to him that like while he was in the higher dimension, uh, it was something like 1 minute equals to 10 years on Earth.
Mm-mm.
So when he woke up, his wife was already like 70 years old or something like that.
Ooh.
It's like wow. Yeah,
Damn. That's old. My
Mm.
goodness. She's old
Yeah.
now.
I need to go back and read that book honestly.
True.
Uh, yeah, but just can't be asked.
And you surprisingly have read more sci-fi than you actually admit to liking. Now
I
that you
mean,
mentioned that.
I like I don't have particular interest in it, but
Mm-mm.
like it's like I'm the kind who's like as long as it's a good media, I'll read it, I'll
Mm-mm.
watch it, whatever.
Mm-mm.
I'm not like the picky kind where like, I only like fancy, which like surprisingly a lot of people are like that.
Uh-uh. I
No,
only
but like it's
watch anime. But yeah. Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, like recently, I want to go back to watch
Mm-mm.
War-E and also A Christmas
Ah,
Carol.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Um. Well, A Christmas Carol is because the student I'm tutoring right now
Mm-mm.
he's studying on A Christmas Carol. So, I mean, realistically, I should be reading the book, but
Mm-mm.
like I don't really have the time. But like, I'm still very interested in like how the story went again. I mean, I do remember the story, but like not like the details.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, oh, I really want to watch the movie, and then I go into YouTube, renting £3. Like, do I want to?
Yeah.
Do I want to spend £3 just to satisfy 2 hours of my life?
Well, I guess if you have someone to chill with it, I guess it
I
would.
don't. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's YouTube, so it's not like I can.
Uh-uh.
I mean, technically, I can share my account to
Mm-mm.
my family as well, but
Yeah, well, they want to watch Christmas Carol at the moment.
I mean, they were the one who was watching. That's why I knew about it. So
Ah.
yeah. I mean, I suppose I can try to do that. And then I'm interested in Wall-E again
Mm-mm.
because like today,
Mm-mm.
so like obviously, as you guys know, I do writing in
Mm-mm.
my own time.
Yeah.
I actually try to publish a novel.
Uh-uh.
It's a distant dream anyway, but it is what it is.
It's what it is.
I always quite like to watch videos on like people analyzing characters.
Mhm.
And then like today I was watching one how to write an AI villain.
Mhm.
And like his prime example is basically, you know, the steering wheel in
Mhm.
War E.
The steering wheel. Ah, yeah.
Yeah. He's actually called Otto. I
Uh-uh.
actually never knew he got a name, but
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah, he used that as the prime example, and then like I was like, oh, that's actually really fascinating. I want to watch War E again now.
Mhm.
Um, oh, and actually like talk about War E. Like the comment section was also like discussing about kind of like how do you say, yeah, War E and Eve
Mhm.
gaining like human traits.
Mhm.
It's like, you know, because it's like they're learning emotions, you know, they started to understand humans and everything like that.
Mhm.
And then like some people argue, no, actually they're not technically evolving.
Mhm.
They're simply expanding in an unexpected way, but it's still within their own coding.
Mhm.
So like, for example, if you still remember Wall-E himself, as in like the robot, not the movie,
Yep.
um, you know, like how in the beginning we were shown how he realized to like collect stuff,
Yes.
you know, and like, you know, like some people argue that that is like a sign that's like he's evolving, but like other people also say no, it's actually because his nature is cleaning up, so he's like automatically attracted to kind of like beautiful things, or
Mhm.
like more like, you know, probably like the better word is
Clean
I
things.
actually yeah. I suppose that's one word. Yeah, clean things, or like, you know, what's the opposite of broken, bro? I cannot speak
Pristine.
to it.
But yeah,
Yes.
I don't think we ever like needed to fuck how to describe things that are not broken like in pristine condition.
Yeah. Exactly. But
Mm-mm.
like, yeah, because like, you know, his natural coding is cleaning out,
Mm-mm.
so like kind of automatically he's also attracted to pristine things,
Mm-mm.
you know, because like to him that's kind of feels like cleaning up.
Mm-mm.
So it's like that's why he has like a huge collection in his, well, quote unquote home.
Mm-mm.
And then like same with Eve. No, well, actually more like because of this trait, and partly because of this trait.
Mm-mm.
Well, obviously then that means he found like the plants as well, you know.
Mm-mm.
And like to him, plants is like pristine because um, you know, it's a life form, and you know, it's very beautiful, you know,
Mm-mm.
kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
You know, it looks clean because, you know, because like when you think about dirty, you usually also relate to lifelessness,
Mm-mm.
you know, because like
Ah.
yeah, or in terms of trash, maybe not dirty, but in terms of trash, you also relate to lifelessness.
Mm-mm.
So like when you see a plant, you kind of think the opposite way, you know.
Mm-mm.
It's like, you know, it's clean, you know, there's life here, you know.
Mm-mm.
And so like, and like his because of this trait of War E, that also partly influences Eve, because like you gotta, so like the basic coding of Eve is that
Mm-mm.
she has to find life form.
Mm-mm.
And you know, so obviously that's the plant,
Mm-mm.
but like also because of War E acting like an actual life form,
Mm-mm.
Eve is also attracted to War E. And this is kind
Ah.
of how the connection goes.
Mm-mm.
And so and then I was like reading the comments, I was like, bro, never thought of it that way, bro.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like people were also like discussing whether like auto, as in like the steering wheel,
Mm-mm.
um has also like contradicted with like how do you call it, the three ways of
Mm-mm. Robotics.
uh three rules of robotics,
Mm-mm.
the three laws of robotics,
Yep.
there we go.
Mm-mm.
Which is first law, a robot must not harm a human or allow a human to come to harm. Second
Mm-mm.
law, a robot must obey human orders unless they conflict with the first law.
Mm-mm.
And third law, a robot must protect itself unless it conflicts with the first or second law.
Mm-mm.
And like people were discussing whether auto fits in all these three laws.
Mm-mm.
Like the video itself argues that like it
Mm-mm.
contradicts to like the first two law because like auto did kind of allow humans to become stagnant in terms
Mm-mm.
of like development.
Yes.
And then there was also the fight with Captain where like he literally poked him in the eyes.
Mm-mm.
And so like basically these contradicts with the first two laws, but then like
Mm-mm.
some people also argue that no, because in the code, like I suppose you can say in the eyes of Otto,
Mm-mm.
um the prime principle is for humans to survive.
Mm-mm.
But like he doesn't necessarily have to care the conditions of these humans. Obviously, it has to be good enough, for humans to be content to be alive.
Mm-mm.
But other than that, it's not going to care about like the overall health conditions of humans.
Mm-mm.
So like his main objective is to keep human to survive.
Mm-mm.
And so but like obviously, but as we saw the movie, everyone become fat, and like
Mm-mm.
become like a ball.
Mm-mm.
So like, obviously in our eyes as humans, we see that as unhealthy and
Mm-mm.
thus it's harming humans.
Mm-mm.
But like in the eyes of Otto the robot, it's not, they're still alive
Mm-mm.
and they're happy about it.
Yeah.
So technically not harming them. So that's the first law done.
Mm-mm.
So the second law, a robot must obey human orders.
Mm-mm.
But like obviously in the movie, it's trying to defy the captain who wants to go back to Earth.
Mm-mm.
Um, so then like people argue it's because there's like a comparison between orders.
Mm-mm.
So it's like obviously Otto is functioning under the orders of the main leader from like 700 years ago.
Mm-mm.
Was like who said that like um who like determined that Earth has become completely unlivable,
Mm-mm.
and so he has to go by the rule that humans cannot go back to Earth.
Mm-mm.
And then and then so like he's been following this rule, and so like some people said, but then like can't like the captain's order override the old rules? Then it's supposed to be a new order
Mm-mm.
an auto comply with the new order.
Mm-mm.
Well, and then like someone's commented like this is sometimes why I really love reading comment sessions in like analysis videos because
Mm-mm.
like people just like analyze together with things that you never thought about.
Mm-mm.
But basically they're saying, yeah, well, yeah, so we can see it this way. So the captain's order is on equal standing
Mm-mm.
as like the order from 700 years ago.
Mm-mm.
And so Otto needs to compare between the two,
Mm-mm.
which one is better.
Yeah.
So basically, Otto is comparing the orders in terms of like a tiebreaker.
Mm-mm.
So um, because his main objective is to keep the humans alive,
Mm-mm.
to make them survive.
Mm-mm.
So that's why he chose to obey like the older law,
Mm-mm.
the older order,
Mm-mm.
because you know as it sees right now, humans are surviving on the spaceship
Mm-mm.
and they are content and there are no kinds of threats
Mm-mm.
against their lives.
Yeah.
But with the captain's order, um, one threat is that they don't actually know the condition of Earth right now.
Mm-mm.
So they might die if they go back to Earth.
Mm-mm.
So that's why he would refuse like that's why he's refusing the captain's order.
Mm-mm.
But like that's because he's obeying another order.
Mm-mm.
So that's the second law tick.
Okay.
And so like people say, yeah, no, Otto is still a robot.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's like yeah, there's like all kinds of like these interesting kind of conversations analysis. Like I love to read them, I love to watch them.
I know.
Um,
Mm-mm.
would be good. I mean, this kind of like analysis would be good for my writing later on as well. Because like
Mm-mm.
spoiler alert, I am going to write what they call how does he call it in this video? Uh, well, I mean, a logical feelings. That's the term.
Ah.
Yeah, basically feelings. oh my god, I accidentally played the video without knowing and scared me. Yeah. So basically, villains who act completely on logic
Mm-mm.
and like and that's like kind of the fun part in itself.
Mm-mm.
And like I know that later on I am going to have to write a logical villain, so this will be a very good video to help me with it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And Wally.
Hmm?
And Wally. Watching Wally.
We should watch Warrior together one day.
I know. She'll just get everyone together, get like a really big screen, and then like just watch Wally, and then we'll take in substance like potato chips and Coca-Cola.
I want to do that now.
Yeah.
Um,
Get the sugar rush
too bad.
going.
Too bad I work tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Same.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then I also watch another one,
Mm-hmm.
which is analyzing Monster Inc.
Ooh.
Yeah. But like, that one is more about explaining like kind of like the concept of Monster Inc. But
Mm-mm.
like, I found one comment which is saying that like Monster Inc. is actually supposedly a metaphor of parenting.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, oh my god, now that you say it this way, it actually is.
Ah.
It's basically about Sully,
Mm-mm.
the blue monster,
Yeah.
like being an being a new father to a child.
Mm-mm.
And like when you see it this way, like it all makes sense.
Mm-mm.
It's essentially supposed to be a movie of parenting. It's like, oh my god.
My God, that's actually genius.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think like it's also like kind of like how to say kind of to describe how about like the old style of parenting that is like basically to scare your child into like
Yeah,
obeying you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people saying that is like the theme of Monster Inc. It's like a
Mm-mm.
comparison of like old parenting and like kind of modern parenting
Mm-mm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
The concept of like scaring your children to obedience and like
Mm-mm.
versus like giving them like positive encouragement and like stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
It's like oh my god, I never thought about it that deep.
Mm-mm. Damn. And now we know that it's you kind of have to have a balance of both to some extent, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, kind of like you kind of have to have the authority, but still like you have to affirm their positive feelings as well. I don't think it's hard.
Mm, parenting is definitely hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. That's why. Yeah, I think like
I would never have kids.
yeah. But yeah, I guess like there was like once like heard the theory of like why now parenting is much harder because like back then when you because our society is mostly like works in villages, right? As in like we have like a community of like maybe like 5 to 20 different families that basically kind of know each other, and then you just basically like every kid is like everyone's kid. So like yep, if you are busy, if you're working, then yeah, maybe your neighbor can take care of your kid for you, and then like everybody just grow up with someone kind of like how to say monitoring them. But now,
Mm.
if the parents are busy, then yeah, it's kind of like it's much harder juggle because like did your parents live in the same city? Then maybe you can live them with your parents. Then if they don't, then you might have to go to a daycare. Then that will also be kind of like a dice roll on whether daycare actually cares about your children or not. And that is the scary part. But yeah, my goodness, it's a really hard world to navigate today. So props to people who
Yeah.
still wants to have children regardless. We still need to continue the human race, so you guys are doing us a favor. Thank you very much. Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
yeah. I mean, like
true.
I meant that unironically, but yeah. Now I just a jerk laugh, but yeah, you got my point. But yeah, it's literally already 2 a.m. in Germany, so I guess if we continue even further, we'll talk about even happier topics like is still heavier than feathers. So which was have you watched that video? So which one is heavier? A kilogram of steel or a kilogram of feathers?
Feathers?
No. The answer is steel because steel is heavier than feathers. My god, that's the nah.
Oh god.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I really love that club, man. But yeah. Anyway, if you guys
I love how confused the guy look as well.
like, they're both a kilogram. But that's not fair. That is big. But yeah, anyway, if you guys have any particular topic that you guys want us to talk about, you can always send us your questions, comments, or requests to our email at therefreshsteppodcast@gmail.com. This time I did not read that wrongly, just like last time where I read that twice and I still get it wrong. But or if you are listening to this on YouTube, in which I will probably take 5 more business years to upload this on Spotify, you can always comment down below. Yeah, I guess that has been everything that we can share for this week. We hope that you guys have a nice week going forward, and we'll see you all in the next turn. Bye bye.
Bye.